of Educational. I'm your host, Roy.
I'm Terry.
Of course, we are chronicling our journey through aging, trying to, navigate the different things in our life. Part of that is getting healthy. We want to carry good health and good habits into our older age, and then also our parents and some of the struggles that they're going through, and then also, us learning and developing new information. And if you haven't seen it yet, Terry just posted an awesome piece on the new Alzheimer's drug. So please check out the website, because we're going to have some alternating, not only the podcast, but some posts on there as well. So if you haven't read that, go check it out. A lot of great information. Also, we have professionals with us from time to time in different disciplines, and today's no different. We have Cathy with us. Terry, I'm going to let you introduce Cathy.
Cathy Nesbitt is a health and wellness advocate. She's the founder of Cathy's Crawly Composters, Cathy's Sprouters, and Cathy's Laughter Club. She's a multi-award-winning environmental innovator who uses workshops and inspirational speaking to motivate people to live a more sustainable life. Cathy's working title is Cathy Crawly Laughing Bean Queen Simple Solutions for some of today's challenges. Cathy, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to talk to you about laughter yoga and the movie Lifeology, which we just watched, and how laughing is so important to everybody's health, but very much so for the aging, because there's just so much stress involved all around.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Terry and Roy. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Before we jump in too far, tell us a little bit about how you discovered laughter yoga and, really what it's done for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Roy. So I do have a worm composting business.
Yes.
I could have chosen something easy like selling coffee or something, but no, I chose worms.
Yeah.
Or they chose me. I'm not sure.
Right.
Cheap worms. So I am on this mission to put worms in every living space, to convert our trash into beautiful black gold for growing more delicious food. Important mission.
Yeah.
It's 19 years, and about 10 years in, I was kind of getting discouraged. It takes me time to get to realize, not everyone's going to buy into this. I'm a slow learner. No, it's fine.
Me too.
It's good. So 10 years in, I was kind of getting discouraged, and I was like, wow, this is hard. And I was introduced to laughter yoga, sort of serendipitously, easy for me to say. And I loved it. I love laughing. I don't do yoga, so I love the idea of just skipping the yoga part and just laughing.
Yes.
And I started to attend laughter yoga there was a class, a monthly class where my mother-in-law lived. And so we would go, and I loved it. I got trained as a leader. I got trained as a teacher because I loved it so much. So what did it do for me? Wow. It helped me stay in my worm business, right? Because I was like stressed. I was like, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to get people to do all those stuff? And laughter allowed me, and I will talk about how, but laughter allowed me to release all that stuff, let it go, breathe, secrete the love drugs, not cortisol, and now magic. And now it's a marriage. Like now I'm laughing. I laugh first, and then I'm like, hey, by the way, I have worms too.
Yeah, there's a lot of science behind this. I mean, me and Terry, we've talked before with you, and so I think you told us about the documentary Lifeology. And it's a pretty good history, and it goes pretty far back in time, but also it talks about all these great benefits for us. Beside anyway,
how laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, yeah, it truly is. I think that was an old thing in Reader's Digest that they had a little deal. Laughter is the best medicine, and it really is proved to be that way.
Yeah, it is the best medicine, right? Have you had your daily dose?
Yeah. And
right?
Why?
Dopamine. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, why is it the best medicine? What does it do for us?
Yeah, so many things, but just that acronym alone, like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So right off the bat, we're in charge of our own pharma, and we know that because when we're stressed And I know you've done a lot of, that's great, speak. I know you've covered stress and Alzheimer's, and I mean, when we're stressed, we can't heal. First of all, we're just fighting or flighting or freezing. We're not mending. So when we're laughing, we're secreting the love drugs versus when we're stressed and secreting cortisol. Phew, that was a big long.
That was very long. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
No, it's the other thing I think is interesting. Never thought about it, but it's contagious, and it can spread like you. It's unbelievable how it is. And they say, it's not that we have any control over that. It's kind of like the guy was mentioning in the documentary. It's like yawning. When you see somebody yawn, you just kind of uncontrollably will yawn too. And then when you hear people start laughing, it's contagious, and you will follow suit.
Isn't it like an 80% of the reason we laugh is because it's contagious? I think that's right. Or close to it. 80% of why we laugh is because it's contagious. We're laughing with other people and because of other people, not necessarily because of humor, not because of jokes or comedians and things like that.
Here's an interesting thing about laughter, and I think they might have said it in Lifeology, or I might have learned it from Albert. He's a super cool guy. But when we're laughing, I mean, when you're laughing full on, your knees go weak, and so it's not a great survival mechanism. Laughing your head off, right? Imagine like in the caveman days, we're laughing, ah, ha, 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 ha. You're on the ground rolling, and then go your lunch. Right? So we can only laugh when we're safe, and we're safe when we're in a laughter club, and we can laugh and we just feel so great. So yes, it may be awkward at the beginning when you come to a laughter club. Might be like, that's odd. But when you do it, then you're like, oh, this is so great. And you get connected on a deeper level. It's contagious. Then you feel good. You sleep better, right? Back to the brain, yep. Right? There's just those simple things. And I'm really learning that the sooner we get this message, the earlier in life that we get these messages, yeah. We don't have to suffer all the consequences. We know now food is important. They've told us all along, but now we know. Maybe plant-based is good, or less meat, or at least organic meat, right? Like good meat. Yeah. Drinking lots of water, sleeping, exercise, connection, right? All of those things, and exercise. So laughter fills a few of those. Deep breathing, it's deep diaphragmatic breathing. It's not jokes or comedy. It's just, it's every time we say ho and ha, we're moving the diaphragm. So back to the health benefits. We have a heart to pump our blood. We have another fluid called lymph. Lymph only moves when we move or do deep diaphragmatic breathing. So that's kind of like the pump. The diaphragm is the pump for the lymph.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, and that's what that was an interesting point they brought up, I think, is that how good it is for our heart. And the other thing I think is it makes us take in deep breaths, which is always good to do that deep breathing as well. It's just, there's so many benefits. The other thing that was interesting was that it wasn't just like one or two people, close friends sitting around. I mean, they had episodes where there were, instances where there were just these large groups of people, indoors, outdoors. They had a kind of focused at the end, I think, on a church congregation.
Oh my gosh, the church was so funny.
Yeah, and I think that guy had a good point. The preacher is that, why do we come to be so serious and we open a candy wrapper and now we're the focal point of everybody around us? And he was like, there's, God likes laughter. He likes to see us laughing. And I thought that was an interesting twist, the way that he went about interacting with his congregation.
Yeah, when we're laughing, we're connected, and we're freer. Yeah. I kind of, not to be anything conspiracy, but I really think when we're afraid, when we're fearful, we can't come up with solution because we're stressed. We're not breathing. We're like, ooh, what about that? What about that thing over there? It's so scary. So laughter isn't about laughing at any particular situation. Like they said in the film, the Albert arrived the day after the Mumbai bombings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, I mean, I guess we're not doing it." And Madan was like, "No, we must.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to laugh because of this."
Yeah, that's the cool thing is it's a universal language too. We don't even have to be able to, I guess, communicate with words, but laughter transcends that. And actually, it can sometimes be better than words because I know, like, when we're driving down the road and one of us is, maybe thinking about something or not in the best space, all the other one really has to do now since we talked to you is we just turn and just start laughing.
Since we
And
took
then-
one of your classes.
Yeah. We turn and start laughing, and then it makes the other, instead of like, what's wrong with you? Well, nothing. Why are you asking? Instead of having that dialogue, we can just laugh, and then it just really lightens everything.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Oh,
That's
it's
so good.
amazing.
Well,
It's so amazing.
And if things get, I mean, gosh, if things get too serious, I'm the first one. I have nervous laughter. I do, and it's inappropriate all the time. Right, Roy?
Yeah.
I mean, I can just feel just the pressure in my chest and my stomach and everything, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, and then I'm like, I have no reason why, but if I start doing that, and then somebody else jumps in and starts laughing with me, then I'm good.
Yeah.
But if nobody's laughing with me and they're sitting there chastising me, like if I were in church, I was the worst in church. It was just such a serious place. It was nuts.
Well, you mentioned that in the caveman days, laughing
Yeah.
wouldn't be that hot because, the animal doesn't understand and would eat us. But the funny thing was that there was the guy in the documentary that he was the one that had that really distinct laugh that he
Oh.
went to a show. He just
Yeah.
lost his job of 30 years, first one fired, and
The
he
most
went-
contagious laughter.
yeah, he
that's
went
it.
to this show, and I mean, it stole the show for like 20 minutes. But the point of that whole story was that he started laughing when he was a child because he said that he was very small and bullied. But he said when the big kids would chase him, eventually he would just lay down and he had this crazy laugh. And he said sometimes the other kids would lay down and laugh with him. It was so contagious.
There are so many funny laughs. Do you know how many laughs we have? Is there a number?
I imagine it's like fingerprints.
Yeah.
I imagine our laugh is unique. It's like singers. It's our signature.
Yeah. So let's talk about the aging and how can this help us as we go through the aging process? And not only that, but I just have this picture in my mind of maybe a person that has lost their friends and maybe their support system is not close and they feel very alone and isolated either at home or in a senior living type community. And it just really I don't know, it kind of excites me to think about this laughter yoga and how it could bring so much joy and help to a lot of people.
It really does. Yeah. So, when we're, the beautiful part about laughter yoga is it's not about jokes or comedy. So you don't need to, if you do have a little bit of, dementia or, even a different language, who knows, whatever reason, comprehension of jokes, or they're cultural too, right? They may just not be funny.
Right.
Like, so yeah, why aren't you laughing? Because it's not funny.
Still trying to get it.
Then you get into that nervous laughter. Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing. It really does connect us. So I was going into long-term care before the cuckoo time that we're in right now, and people would come in, and as the laughter, it's just about connecting. It's not about doing the poses. It's just like gentle movements, clapping and looking around, making eye contact. As the leader, you do bigger movements, and it can be done seated. So everybody's seated. That's certainly fine. You don't want anyone to fall. And so it's just clapping. You clap palm to palm, so you're activating the meridians. And then the gentle movement, you're getting oxygen into your body, and then you're touching your body. You know, I'm just learning about the vagus nerve. So now the vagus nerve is one of the oldest nerves, goes right down, all the way down into our belly. And now they're finding out that it actually goes up into our brain and into our face. So I have people now on Zoom, I'll have them just sit, cup their face. And this feels really comfortable because now we're embracing our vagus nerve. We're stimulating our vagus nerve when we do this.
Interesting. I
So,
didn't know.
you know, and so I'll just have people
I'm
smile.
gonna do it.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
And then breathing. So it's about the deep breathing. I'll have them maybe put their hands out, breathe in. Curl your hands up, hold it, hold it, hold it, smiling, and then release. Just with a sigh, because then when we sigh, it sends a message to our brain, I'm content, I'm happy. Again, as soon as we smile as well, we start sending the message to our brain, hey, I must be happy, I'm smiling. So even if it's not real, you can put on a smile and start to feel it shifts something. So the more we practice smiling, and then we add a ha ha ha, it doesn't have to be a big belly laugh. It can just be a little giggle, ha ha ha. You know, move your shoulders, breathe in, bring up your shoulders, and then release, ha, right? Just these simple exercises that I have people do on Zoom. So hold up your hand, and then we trace our hand. So this is does a couple of things, right? It allows people to do the little fine motor skills. So breathe in, and then ha ha ha. We just gently ha ha ha, and then breathe in, ha ha ha. Breathe in, ha ha ha. Right? You trace all of your fingers all the way off, ha ha ha, and then we do the other hand, ha ha. Right? So it's kind of keeping them engaged. In person, it's much better, of course.
Yeah.
But also possible, you know, and great for the people that are caring for other people, the workers, the family. It connects people on another level. If somebody has some form of Alzheimer's or dementia, you know, it's a progressive thing. We can kind of slow it down with lifestyle changes, and it's never too late. As I said, the sooner we can get this message, it's cumulative, right?
Yeah.
If we can start eating better and exercising and getting some vitamin D and, you know, all of these beautiful things, laughing, the earlier we are, the better. I know it's hard to get that message because when you're young, you're infallible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe that's what a pandemic brings us, right? It's like, ooh, maybe I'm not.
Yeah, yeah. And you had a great story, I think, that you were saying that one of the communities that you went into, you had a fairly non-responsive person that couldn't move or couldn't have a lot of facial, couldn't do the laughing. But what I think, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? Yeah, I'll let you relate that story.
Yeah, thank you. So
Yeah.
one of my laughter yoga sessions at a facility, a woman was wheeled in, and her worker stayed with her. She was like slumped over. She was sleeping. It looked like she was just sleeping the whole time. And all of a sudden, her worker said, "Oh my gosh, look at Ida smiling." So, you know, it's vibration. Laughter is vibration, and it's high vibration, by the way. You can't be sad and happy at the same time, not at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a vibration. So it was vibrating out just like music. When we're in the presence of music, we're affected by the vibration. Maybe it's heavy metal, and we're like, oh, sometimes. Maybe it used to be fun, right? And classical music or jazz, like it just affects us differently. So does laughter. So thank you for reminding me of that story.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful because, you know, we don't, sometimes even though people can't respond, we are still getting through. They can still hear what's going on around them. And so I think that's, you know, the importance about this is it can kind of take you back, transport you to your childhood too, or to a happier time. I don't know. It's a very odd effect, I will say that, about something so simple that has such a dramatic effect on our mood, our thinking, and going forward, because it's hard. Okay, I'm all mad about something, I'm kind of sulking, and then Terry laughs and ha ha ha. But I don't ever go back to that spot where I was just in. It's like it brings you out of it, and you can kind of continue on in more of a happy mindset.
Yes, absolutely. So imagine the radio dial. So laughter is just a frequency, right? It's a vibration. So when you're like feeling grumpy or having those grumpy thoughts, you're down here on 87 point something, and then Terry laughs, and then you get raised up to 95.
Right.
So you're right. You're not at the same place. You might not be where Terry is yet.
Right.
She needs to ha-ha some more.
I do. You have no idea how true that is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, thank you for saying that. It changes us when we laugh, really.
Right.
The more I laugh, the more I like, wow, this is so powerful.
Right.
Because I just laugh more. And if I get stressed, because I'm living life, of course I'm not infallible, I don't have a shield.
Laughter is your shield, Cathy.
Laughter is my shield. Yes, thank you. I love that. Laughter is my shield. So if something's happening, I just laugh. And I love when people say, it's not funny. I go, well, have we met? Here's my card. I'm a laughter teacher.
Let's take care of that right now.
Right.
It is funny.
It is. And it adds years to your life, doesn't it? Laughter adds how many years? Like 8 years or something to your life. If you do it, on a constant basis. Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how many years. I don't know. I don't even know how they do those studies, but
I don't know. I think it was in the Lifeology film. I don't know why I remembered that. I think it said that it was like eight years. It can add up to 8 years to your life or more.
And if you're going to add 8 years, they may as well be happy years, right? So
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Since we chatted last time, I don't know if I was doing the project or not, but I'm working with a group called, it's the fan club. It's a full access network. And it's young adults with varying developmental disabilities.
Oh, yeah.
And we're in our 3rd month. Every week we meet because I don't know what I shared last time, but one of my branches will be to teach folks with special needs to be laughter leaders so they can lead laughter for their demographic.
That
and
is
really
awesome.
Be part of community. I just really, I'm just feeling really drawn there. And so now people are showing up in my life. Someone contacted me about funding. If anyone's listening and has funding.
That's right.
Right, or contacts, because this is big. I contacted the founder of Laughter Yoga and I said, is anybody in the world doing this? Because I don't want to reinvent the wheel, as they say. I'd like to do what they're doing, but nobody is, apparently. So I guess it's up to me.
So you're having to invent it. That is an awesome thing to do. I love that. Now, and do you offer private laughter classes or for businesses and individuals, everybody, all of the above?
All of the above, absolutely. Corporate for team building and, increased productivity, less absenteeism. I know everyone's working from home, but they'll be back in office soon.
Yes.
Or a factory or wherever, right? So it's great for that. It's great. Private, I don't really do private, but groups for sure.
Yeah.
It's
something that needs to be done in a group, I think.
It does.
I think because by yourself, it's like, it's a little different, but I think the more people that we add into the mix, the better that it probably makes it for everybody.
Yeah, and as Terry was saying, there, people have different laughs. And so I don't know if it said in the movie, but people that have big laughs are called laugher blasters. And as the laughter teacher, you figure out who they are in your club. And when you do your meditation, you kind of place them around so they trigger the others. You don't put all the quiet ones together so they're like, they're like too shy to laugh. You put them beside the big laugher, so then they're like, they can't help but laugh.
Well, and they talked about the show The Nanny. Roy, you missed this part. They talked about the show The Nanny and how one of the producers was asked to find 25 laughers, I guess the Laugher Blasters,
my
and they
gosh.
did the laugh track with that, and that's what made people laugh so. I mean, Roy dies laughing. He watches that, and I watch it now too. I didn't watch it when it was on, but because of the laughter, I think. I mean, she's just funny. That's true. I just never even. I didn't think about that.
I forgot about the Laugh Club. I should watch that movie again. I haven't watched it for a while.
That's good.
What a cool gig. I imagine being the laughers.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about the guy that did the Lifeology. I guess he was the guy that I can't think of his name. He traveled around and
Oh, that's Albert, isn't it?
Albert Nuremberg, yes.
Nuremberg.
yeah. Anyway, I thought, what a cool gig that would be to go around and just laugh with all different cultures and all different
And he
people.
and he did it because he needed to find his laugh, right? Is that why?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a, I don't know, kind of one of those like a ploy to get you going because in the beginning he was just so solitude and nothing would really make him laugh. There wasn't a lot of it going on, but he was always just very straight solitude. And then by the end, I think they actually show him laughing on the ground. With a bunch of kids. He's actually in his suit and tie, rolling on the ground, laughing with them.
He is a filmmaker, so yeah, I'm not sure how, like, if it's whatever. It's a story, but it's really great. His next movie is one that you should check out too. It's called You Are What You Act,
Oh.
and it's it's got a bit of laughter yoga in there as well. I think I'm actually in that movie. He came to the conference.
Oh, yeah. We got a
Like a
movie
cameo.
star.
Oh, nice.
But he talks about, actors, how they, like Tom Cruise, how he, in real life, he would save somebody from a burning building or whatever, because he did his own stunts.
Right.
Same if you're depressed, doing a depressed part for 6 months, now you're depressed at the end. And then he talked about, like, I don't have a cell phone, but he talked about cell phone. Like, how are we looking today?
Wait a
We're
minute.
looking down at our cell phone. So when we're looking down, we have that county cane neck. And it sends a note to our brain that I'm sad. So back to Alzheimer's again. And people that are in homes, they're sitting in chairs, often just slumped forward. And that is bad physiology because that's sending a note to our brain, I'm sad. So we just get sadder the longer we sit. Because when we move around, right, we're moving, we're getting oxygen into our beautiful body, but our head is up.
Yeah.
All these small little things. Anyway, check out that film.
And when does that come out?
It's on.
know?
It was one of the Hot Docs films. I think it came out in 2018.
Okay.
Well, and mention, kind of tying those two together, you think about, people that are confined to wheelchairs or that aren't that mobile. I never really thought about that part of it, about being able to, take in the oxygen and the movement, kind of not moving, kind of putting us in a little bit of a solemn state where, again, I think this laughter, bringing laughter into people's life, it's just such a benefit in so many ways.
It's the movement. It really is the movement, because when we're sad, we don't take up much space, right? We're sitting small, like we're sad, or we're depressed, or we're tired. Yeah. So I work with these special needs folks, and often they're like, I'm tired, and I'm like, here, get up then, let's get some energy into you. Because it's that emotion thing, that motion thing. Things in motion create more emotion, like it doesn't go anywhere. So
right.
If you're tired, you just need to stand up, do some jumping jacks, or just like, ha ha ha, like woo, and then you'll automatically feel different. Again, you're turning up the dial, the vibration. Simple.
That is so true. I mean, I'm just thinking about that. That's so true, because I have found myself very tired lately, and I'm like, I got to get to Cathy's class on Tuesday mornings at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, online, free.
Yeah, if you're ever tired, really, just like you're like, I don't want to go for a walk. Go for a walk. Yeah. Just around the block.
Just do it.
Yeah, life is too short. We've got to laugh. Things are going to come at us, and the other thing I try to use this in is when you have anticipation of something that's going to be stressful or may not go the way that you want it to go. You can kind of laugh through the lead up to that, so you're not just sitting here all concentrating and worry about what may or may not happen. You might as well laugh through it and wait till it actually does happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it might not even.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You'd be waiting for a while.
And
go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I can't remember who said this, if it was but on the thing it said that life is stressful and death is stressful. We should laugh as much as we can in between, or something like that. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-mm. No, but
something like that. I don't know exactly how it went.
Yeah.
Well, what about this one? You only live once. No, you actually live every day. You only die once.
Oh
my God.
That's a good one.
I like that.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So laughter yoga, don't even think, if you're hesitating on whether or not to go to check out Cathy online, don't even think about the yoga aspect of it. It's just, small yoga, small movements in yoga, but you also provide, you talk about tapping as well. And what other things, Cathy?
The other thing didn't you show us the?
Oh yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to demonstrate those. Let
Please.
me just. Oh. Have a sip. Yes. So our hands are the conductors. We are energy. We know because we've walked into a room and somebody's in a bad mood or they're in a great mood, right? We feel it. We're like, ooh, who's happy or who's sad? We know, right? So we just rub our hands together and then just shake them off. So when we're stressed, sometimes people do this automatically. They're like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed. So when we're stressed, blood, lymph, oxygen, not all of it, but leaves our brain. So this brings that back. We've got neurovasculars right here. So this covers them, and you can put another hand on the back. And then you just take a couple of nice, slow, deep breaths in. And then release. You don't have to sigh, but you can. It's nice.
I like it. I like
it. And then
it.
another one. And then, and so that brings the blood back up to your beautiful brain, oxygen, boop, boop, boop. And then, and then you can come up. And you can also put your thumbs on your temple,
your temples.
And then just curl your fingers in where they meet on your forehead. And then you just push in and drag across. Same kind of idea. That will just bring oxygen back up to your brain. Yep, so beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
And one more, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Now you got me started.
Keep going.
Yeah.
These are really good. So yes, come to my class because I offer these things as I learn about these wonderful, simple techniques for healing. It's not laughter yoga, but laughter yoga is the best medicine. Why not add in a few extra medicine tips?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so a couple of fingers. You just draw a figure 8 around your eyes. If you can't sleep or if you wake up and you can't get back to sleep. So just gently around either direction, either hand, and you do that until you yawn. And you don't need to do that now, but as soon as you, I'll be like, oh, am I boring them?
Putting me to sleep, Cathy.
I'll be yawning. So what that does, again, back to stress, or if you're ever feeling stressed, you can do that, and that will help to calm you down. Like same with this one. Because when we're stressed, again, we're not healing and we can't sleep, right? Our brain's racing. It's just like, and so we can't sleep when we're stressed, right? We got that monkey mind going on. So that just helps to calm us down.
Yeah.
And even just doing raindrops on your face. This again, where the vagus nerve and the lymph is just right under the skin. So just gently tapping on your face, even though they say don't touch your face. Just wash your hands first.
Wear a mask and then you can do it, right? No.
Yeah, these, and then just the gentle hug. This one is really good one. Actually, if people are sitting, your right hand over your left ribs and your right hand just on top of your elbow on right. So this is your spleen. Your right hand would be cupping your spleen. and your left hand over triple warmer. You don't need to know what this does, but when you're sitting watching TV, you can just sit and you can gently rock, and it's just like, it's just like tells your body I'm safe. And it just again calms you down. If anyone's feeling anxious, it's just like a wonderful hug that we're not getting today.
Yeah.
Cathy, do you have any learning workshops available? Do you teach the yoga
I do
laughter, or-
teach people to lead laughter classes. I have like weekend classes for people to learn how to do this.
Okay.
I will be incorporating, thank you for saying that. I will be creating some learnings, because I do feel like I have a way of explaining it. You know, I say to people, I watch all those health and wellness summits, all the energy stuff, all the stuff, so you don't have to. And then I encapsulate it down into a little nugget, so you're like, oh, that's what that 3-day summit was about.
You do. You have to do this, Cathy, because you explain it so well. I mean, I hate to say you dumb it down for me, because I just don't, I get so overwhelmed trying to find out every aspect. Why, and just keep going. I do want to go back to, you said you don't have a cell phone. Is that right?
I know. Now everyone
Good
knows.
for you. Oh my gosh, I'm so impressed.
Well, you know, again, it goes back to my kind of my worm business. It's part of my brand now. You know, it's a little bit of shock value for the young folks.
Yeah.
It's so fun when I meet them, and if I meet them in person, and they're like, oh, you know, what if I say I don't have a cell phone, I know they stop breathing for a moment.
Yeah, right.
They're like, oh! Thinking like, how does she function? And then their next question is like, how do you function? And I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand the question. Like, I eat, I sleep, I poop.
Like you used to. I mean, just the same way. You're just not missing all the junk.
Well, it's a lot. It's really a less stressed life. I mean, I save a whack of dough. Like, imagine I don't have the cell phone thing. I don't have to battle with them about contracts or whatever. The thing broke or whatever. I don't know, whatever happens. And when I go out, I lock my door so my house is safe. Right? Who knows? I don't know if it's safe. And then I get on with my day. I don't think, oh, did they send me an email? Did somebody phone me? I'm waiting for stuff. I can't do anything till I get home. So I get to just go and be, except it's hard if I'm on my own. I get to be by myself because people are on their thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, and everybody else has a cell phone, so really, if you have an emergency situation, just use theirs. That's what I used to tell the girls. They would be, "Oh, Mom, I need a cell phone. So and so has one. So and so." I said, "Okay, use theirs. I'm not getting you one. You're 11." But they all now have them.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say I had it's a little bit off topic, but I think the power of our brain and the things that we can do to help us in certain situations. I actually was interviewing a guy yesterday for my business show that he helps companies marketing. He's like a neuroscientist, and talking about the way that things make people feel. And so one of the concepts we were talking about is the difference between our response and our reaction. And that, we can have if somebody makes you mad, you can have that reaction internally, but we count to 5 before we respond, because if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's supposed to drive the blood, I guess, out of your brain to get you out of that fight or flight mentality. And, we're talking about doing that. I do that at the end of the day, take that time to sit down to clear my head before I go to bed. But I had another guy this last week saying he does that between tasks as he, goes from one task to the other. He just takes a minute, counts to 5, and it really clears that one task out, gets him ready to start the other. Anyway, Felix, the guy I was talking to last night, he said that we can also do that counting backwards for tasks that we may be procrastinating. He said because if we count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that actually drives the blood back up into our brain to make us, want to jump in and get started on something. So anyway, I just think it's interesting. All of these things, sometimes we really just, we we go through the day looking at our cell phones instead of thinking about what can we do to help ourselves just by changing our way of thinking or changing, some small actions that we take during the day. It's very interesting.
And not only that, when we're always looking at our thing, I kind of think that sends a message to ourself that we're not comfortable by ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to be engaged. Like, what if we're walking down the street and we're not on our thing? People will think we don't have any friends.
Right.
Oh my gosh, that's fun. Yeah, right.
And the connection too, when you're walking and like I'm because I don't have a thing and I don't wear earbuds when I'm riding to listen to music or anything. I want to hear if I'm going to be hit by a car.
Yeah.
But I'm always looking, if I'm walking or riding, I'm looking to see other people. I want to wave at them. I want to say, hey, hello, or, and I do my laughter yoga too, which is kind of odd. But, so when people are on their thing, they're just not even connecting. So it's that human connection again, like that momentary, hey, I see you. Nice smile. There you are. You made my day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I think about that too, there will be times when I used to always want to make eye contact with everybody. And now it's like, not so much.
Well,
I don't know why.
You can't because everybody's
on their phone.
Looking down.
But you know what gets their attention and brings them back to reality is when they trip over something and take a flying leap. I love those videos. Yeah. Something jumped up and they're looking for something that jumped up when it's just them tripping over their feet.
Yeah, they're ready to get in the fight. Hey, who did that?
Who was that?
Oh, well, Cathy, we appreciate you being on the show. Are there any other tips, tricks, things that you want to leave the audience with before we wrap this up?
I really just want to tell people about stress again, right? When we're stressed, we can't heal. We're not sleeping properly when we're stressed. If we can reduce our stress as one thing to be good for our brain, that it would be good for our whole body. All of our organs will be so grateful if we're not stressed, because it's really our environment is toxic when we're stressed, because we're just secreting venom, and we can't run on all that toxic cortisol that's secreting. And a lot of our topical creams and everything are steroid based, which is cortisol. So, and it's another whole show. I don't want to open up another topic right now, but we really need to reduce the cortisol that we're exposed to. So laughter is one simple way.
Yeah, and I think we're finding out that so much of a lot of our emotions, a lot of our chemical releases all happen in our stomach as well. And so, it's like like you said, taking care of our whole body. And then again, just taking those deep breaths. A lot of us are shallow breathers, and that's not good for us either. We need to get that big old deep breaths in to, bring in as much oxygen as we possibly can. All right. Well, Cathy, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Cathy, fun.
No, not to make a pun, but we always get a lot of laughs when we talk to you.
So much information. You have so much information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You really do. I mean, about the environment, everything. It's amazing. We really appreciate you sharing that with us, and hope that everybody comes to your class.
Yeah.
Online.
We'll let her tell us about that. First off, before we do that, what is a habit that, besides laughing, I guess we'll cut that one off since we know you laugh every day, but what is another habit that you use that you feel like adds a lot of value to your life?
Starting my day with sprouts. I eat sprouts at 19 years now. Sprouts are a huge part of my health plan. I don't take a multivitamin. I eat sprouts and I grow them myself. And I would say, if people want to live a better life, eat sprouts every day, drink water, laugh for a certain amount every day, and talk to at least one person.
Good advice.
Oh, that's great.
All right. So I'll go ahead and let us know what time. Well, number one, the website. Tell us, everybody, how they could find you on your website, where they can reach out, but also tell us about your class on Tuesday morning. And I was going to say, the one thing I had on my notes I wanted to mention is that, again, this is just the awesome power of laughing, because when Terry first met you, she attended a class, and she was over across the room. I was working and entranced in what I was doing and really wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden, I could just hear all of this laughter. And I'm telling you, I actually got up from my chair to walk over to her and stood there with her, laughing and kind of enjoying this. I'm like, what is going on? And it was again, it's that contagious part that I just had to go investigate what was going on. But anyway, sorry to interrupt, but I can't stress the power of this. It's incredible. But anyway, how can we find you on your website, and tell us about the class?
Thank you for sharing that story, because it is the power of, like, the laughter. We are attracted to laughter. We're just like, oh, what's that? What am I missing out on?
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, my website is kathysclub.com, Cathy with a C and an S. And it's Tuesday morning, 9:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Eastern on Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll be sure and put all that up on the in the show notes as well. All right, Cathy, thanks so much. We hope to have you back for a lot more laughter. It's just good. It's awesome. So we appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yes.
And that's going to do it for another episode of the Educational. Of course, I am your host, Roy.
I'm Terry.
You can find us at www.ageeducational.com. We're on all the major podcast platforms: iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Spotify. Not on one that you listen to, please reach out. We'd be glad to add it. Also, we hang out on, we are on all the major the major social media platforms. We probably hang out a little bit more on Instagram. So we encourage you to reach out, have some interaction with us and all of our connections. A lot of great people that you can find there. Also, a video of this interview will go up on our YouTube page. Go over there and take a look if you want to see some of our videos from our all of our interviews that we have done. So until next time, take care of yourself and take care of your health.